Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach and welcome to my press conference, the final press conference of the year, of course, and it does seem to go pretty quick, but I'll get straight into it. It was a massive scoring week, our biggest scoring week of the season. There were scores in the 3,000s right at the very top. Mine wasn't quite up there in the mid-2700s, which I think was pretty reasonable still, for the round ranked in the top 6%, which was good. And saw me marginally go up in the rankings. So I'll just take a look at how my side ended up in the end. And then I'll discuss more of the big picture things. So, it's crazy to think how much work goes into it. And then, this is the final team and the final results. I ended up trading out James Sicily for Lockie Whitfield, which was a good trade in the end. It was out of Shannon Hearn or Sicily. Funnily enough, I had an absolute brain fade. I could have traded Answorth out for Whitfield. That's how much coin I ended up having. So, in essence, because I still had the 90k and Sicily was only 444. So, minor brain fade. I think I'd almost checked out for the season anyway, but in a perfect world, I could have had Sicily as emergency and then he scored 124, so I probably would have benched Laird and loopholed Sicily. It would have been 20 points. Very minor. I think the main factor to talk about is that Whitfield was an extremely good inclusion for a one-off and he tore it up. The midfield had some massive numbers. Neil, Cripps, Crouch scored 134 off 47 touches. If you can't crack 150 off 47, when will you? And, then I had Gorn, I had 212, enormous. Grundy as my vice captain, which ended up loopholing to skipper. Dangerfield was massive. Kelly came back to some of his, first half season scoring. Dunkley, Boak, not his best, but he's been a good player all year. Billings stunk it up. That's really what hurt me. What did Walters score? Because I reckon early on when I was umming and ahhing over Walters and Billings, I wanted Walters and fell about 6k short. I reckon early Billings ended up being the better one, but I think in the end I am spewing that I didn't get him in. So I traded Billings in and he went bang with a 144, 97, 113, 65. I think they're about here. Billings certainly the first few weeks was taking the chocolates, but Walter's only 74. So in the end, it was probably much of a muchness, but that did hurt in the final round. And Heaney is probably the most disappointing pick of the whole season, I reckon. That might be a bit harsh because there's been guys who have failed and we've had to trade out, but probably the worst is harsh to say, but the most disappointing compared to expectation, I think. I thought he would be an absolute lock for top 3 or 4 forwards, and I thought he would push well into the 3 figures, but he didn't, so that's fair enough. I'll get to that in a sec. I'll look at some leagues, and, I didn't feature in barely any. I mean, I had a shocking prelim. I don't think I even did a press conference, so sorry I've been that's what I meant to say. Sorry I haven't been doing a couple of vids of late. I missed a press conference. I missed the weekend preview. But I've just been so bloody busy. And I have checked out a little bit, put my hand up. This stage of the season, I've had a lot going on with work and a couple other bits and pieces going on in life. So good things, but it's just all of a sudden it gets to the weekend and you're struggling for time. It's crazy. But so hopefully you can see yourself in these, hopefully the grand final, hopefully a winning one, some big scores in there. As you see, I was in a number of prelims, and that's why I don't really like the league thing. If I was in with some, a league with mates, then okay, I'd probably take it a little more serious. 2985, very good, Sam. But the fact I'm not with any of my mates in the league, because we've more focus on draft, I just don't really care. And I knew I would have got knocked out, so that's the only one I just scraped through and still ended up losing the grand final. So it doesn't worry me too much because I know I've had a good season. would be nice to win the odd league thing, but the fact is, if you have a poor round 22, you're not going to win one, are you? So I find it a little, I mean, it's just hodgepodge, all depending on when you actually have a good round. But hopefully you had a good season, and hopefully you, I just went to that one, didn't I? Yeah, hopefully you had a winning season as well. If you're in some League Ones, hopefully you got the bragging rights. But and thanks to everyone who jumped on board too. You know, these subscriber leagues fill up super quick, so that's always really good to see as well. Just making sure I actually was recording. I couldn't remember if I pressed it. What I wanted to look at was sort of the overall rank, and 2,099. It's my best ranking overall for a number of years. The best one on this channel, no doubt about that. Just looking through the season, you know, first couple of weeks were just, you know, so-so, but then that round 3 really got me right up there. That was a really good week and saw me jump up. Well, I had a couple of good weeks, round 3 and 4, and it saw me in the top 2,000. And that's probably where I'm a bit disappointed. So round 4, I was in the top 2K, and so many rounds later, in which I felt I traded really well, I lose a, you know, 100 odd spots. It shows how tough it is. You know, here I'm just hovering in the 2000s. That was a tough week. Round 9 was a stinker, ranked in the 70,000th, and that was quite clearly my worst week for the year. It saw me drop 3,000 spots, and that meant I had some catching up to do. Round 10 wasn't too great either, fell even further. So there where I was after 10 rounds, nearly at 7,000, but I began to pick back, and quite quickly, and I made some real movements in the early stages of the buy. And there is the highest rank I had all year, and that was after clearly my best week. Well, not clearly, that one was right up there too. But round 16 there saw me get within the top 1,500, which was really, really good. So from there, my team probably just didn't take the next step with it did in terms of trading and getting in premiums, but not necessarily guys finding form. You know, some players like Sicily and Hearn, you know, and Lloyd, a few guys just didn't absolutely find form, and Crouch and Sloan were a couple that, because when you want to push up the ranks, you got to have the best of the best. And the forward line, Nohania and Boak even tailed off just a little bit. Kelly tailed off. Billings had his ups and downs. But so that's how it all ended up. Overall, really, really pleased. You know, particularly doing this channel, I've had a couple of seasons where I think I've been ranked just outside top 10,000, maybe 12,000, something like that. So it was nice to actually show I have some form of credibility, which was good. So crazy to sort of think that, you know, it's all done and dusted. You know, we put a lot of work into it, and there it is. You know, that's it. No more trading. Boom. Yeah, you're hopefully happy. I'm happy. I'm really pleased with how the season went, and pleased with how the channel's progressing as well. I might do like an All-Australian video, just picking who I think will be in the All-Oz side. But aside from that, I'll hopefully have some content, you know, with Langers, try and do some videos and stuff over the summer. And then I'll just have to think about next season and how we approach it. I'd love to do, time permitting, I'd love to do a little bit more stuff, and I'd love to improve the channel, I guess, the product and how it's produced, like visually. I've ordered a microphone, so hopefully the audio will be a bit better. But I just, that interaction with myself and the fan and the, you know, the subscriber is probably something I'd like to work on. So if you've got any ideas, I mean, I do like the model of player profiles, then really hone into stuff. It's probably just a time issue. Can I really commit enough time? Question and answer is something I'd love to do, even if I could do it live or somehow. But again, it comes down to time, you know. work's big and paying off a house, and then particularly, when you do get spare moments, you have a couple other little projects, spending time with mates and family. So I'm sure you guys can understand that. But by the same token, I do really love doing this channel. There are stages throughout the season where you wish you didn't have to front up after a crappy week. But yeah, I guess I'll just shut up shop for probably 3 months, probably something like that, and we'll pick it up at some point. But stay on board, because I will be back next year. I might even do another separate video just titled that, saying that I will be back next year, and a bit of an update and hopefully some ideas. But for now, I hope you have a good week, and I hope you've had a good season. But hopefully the finals go all right too. I'll be heading along to the Geelong game Friday week against the Pies, so really keen for that. I guess there's an opportunity for a vlog as well. I don't think I'd be doing it at a big final. I think I'd be pretty heavily focused on the footy, but that's something that also could come into my thought process. But let me know what you think. I'll be back soon enough. Not too soon, but I'll be back. I'll chat to you soon. Cheers.